Hello from Coleman and Company, and in this video we are going to show you how we're using some glitter vinyl applique on embroidery. Here we're using an FDC brand of glitter vinyl that we sell at Coleman and Company, and as you can see we've made a little pink Christmas tree, and we're going to step into how we did it. So the first thing that you're looking at here, and obviously I've taken out the embroidery machine sound so we can just have some good audio and a little conversation about this. But the first thing that I did is I just set up my design, send it through, and I have the bottom of the tree sewing out in a brownish thread. So that's what you see sewing out right now. And if you saw in the image before, you noticed that the bottom of the tree was brown. So I sewed that out first because I don't necessarily need to have any glitter in that area. Now that I'm done, I put a stop in the machine and I put the glitter just right on top of it. Okay, now what I actually did not show in this video is the glitter does have a plastic carrier sheet per se. That's on that. You want to peel it off. You want to peel the plastic sheet off just so you have the soft glitter material, and then you put it right down over your embroidery and you hit start again. And those first stitches, as you can see, once the first few stitches go down, then it actually tacks it down for you and it will just completely start to sew. So that's what we're doing right now. A couple of recommendations while we're watching it sew for a couple moments here. One I would say is if you are working with a larger design that might have a smaller piece of glitter in there where you're afraid it might bounce around a little bit or move, you can put a little bit of some sticky tack spray, just a really light amount, and that will help to keep it in place. So as we zoom in here, what we're looking at is what we've done is we put 2 layers of just a underlay, center underlay, and then we've done a nice tight satin stitch around there. I've speeded the machine up a little bit here so we can get through it sewing out. So it'll go through a little fast for a bit here. But that's all we're doing here is we're laying down just a regular center underlay and a regular satin stitch. And all I did was just make sure that we have a nice density so it's close together. And that's really all that we have to do to set up a design like this. We're talking about a regular satin stitch border and a regular center underlay. So very easy, probably how your designs are already set up for sewing out this type of stuff. So we're going to be done here in just a moment with sewing it out, and then I programmed the design is done now actually, but if you had more to do after this, you could program the machine to stop and then weed, and then you could start the machine back up. Say if you were going to embroider, say, ornaments on that tree or lettering directly next to it where there is currently glitter material. Okay, so now that we're done, what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in here and we're going to weed it out. All we do is literally just peel it right off, just like that. And if you see there's like some little pieces that could stick behind, if you get anything like that, you can pick them out with some tweezers. I sewed right over that other fill stitch there. I just popped that right off and it all comes out with your fingers. The last step that you'll see me do is I recommend having a can of air and spraying it. Just spray out your area, spray any extra glitter that's there, and definitely take care of spraying out your bobbin case and your needle area and everything too, since you'll have a little bit of glitter that's been pushed around there. So now we're all sewn out. It's done. It looks awesome already, but we want to make sure that it's permanent. We don't want it to come off, and this glitter vinyl has a heat activated adhesive. So we're going to put that right on a heat press. This is currently at 325 degrees, and we're just going to put that right under there. Just a nice medium pressure for 10 seconds. And what we've done is activated the glue that's on the back of that vinyl. Because this vinyl material is the same vinyl material you could use just to make a glitter t-shirt without the embroidery, and you would apply it with heat. And that's it. We've completed our design. It's very easy to do, easy to weed, and easy to work with. So hope you can get started soon and making some glitter applique. The next thing I'd like to show you is what you need to be able to start doing these type of projects. So we're on the Coleman and Company website right now, and you just need a few things. I'll talk about the things you definitely have to have and optional things that I recommend after doing it a bunch of times. What I found helped me out a lot. So we're going to start off with the first thing that you have to have is the actual vinyl material. So under cutter supplies here, you will see glitter heat transfer vinyl, and that'll take you to the FDC vinyl page where we've got all the colors that we carry in stock, and any one of these will work. So you can there's none of them that won't work, no colors that won't work. They're all fine. This is the first thing that you're going to need. These do come in 15-inch by 5-yard rolls. And as I mentioned earlier, they are on a plastic sheet, an adhesive sheet, because when you're actually cutting it with a vinyl cutter, you're going to cut out your lettering or where your design, then you're going to weed off the material that you're not going to use, and what you are going to apply to shirt will remain on the sticky transfer paper. But since you're going to be doing this with applique and embroidery, you don't need any of that at all. That is just the protection for the top of the glitter for you. So you will cut out your piece. Then, as I mentioned, then you will peel the top layer off. You'll throw away that adhesive material because you don't need that plastic top sheet. And then you're just going to have a nice, soft, pliable glitter material that you're going to work with. So that's the first thing that you need. Then the next thing is going to be under embroidery supplies. Under embroidery supplies, go to your sprays and liquids and sprays. Two things here that I'm going to recommend. One, if you don't already have a lint and dust remover, the air can, make sure you've got one. Make sure you've got something that's good. You want a good quality one. You want something that is going to be easy to spray and that is going to be good for your machine as well. You want that, clean out the glitter from your needle area, from your bobbin case, from your rotary hook, all of that in between designs. And after doing a few designs, make sure you take that can of air and clean out that glitter. Don't let it build up because it's just going to cause more work for you in the long run for your machine maintenance. The other item that is a recommended, it's not a have to, but I do recommend it, is just some mist spray adhesive. Your one can of this will last you probably forever in these types of designs, but it's a good investment because you can do an extremely light spray on the back of that glitter material, and then it will just help to tack it down when you put it on your embroidery machine, so you don't have to worry about the material rolling over or bumping or sliding or moving, especially depending on how big the design is and how big of a piece of glitter you're working with. You run the risk of it moving a little bit, and this will stop that from moving. And it's a great little investment, and you'll definitely feel more comfortable using it on some designs. I definitely did, at least. And the last thing we're going to talk about is going to be a heat press. Now, you are going to want to heat activate the glue on the back of that glitter. That will, because as you saw in the video, it was easy to weed out and pull off that excess glitter. Well, you could pull it off out from the middle too, and especially if you washed it, it's not going to wash well if you don't heat activate that. So you can use an iron. That's no problem if you're not doing large quantities or you're not ready to invest in a heat press yet. You can use an iron, but I'm going to recommend you do use a heat press, especially if you plan on doing a bunch of these. It's going to be a lot more reliable, it is going to be a lot less work, and it's going to be a whole lot easier. If you're going to do it on your iron, crank it up, make sure you have no steam, and you want to make sure that you put a good amount of pressure on there, and just be careful on what you're working with. Remember, ironing boards aren't designed to hold a ton of weights, and you're going to want to put a little bit of pressure, so make sure you've got a safe surface to work with. But if you own a heat press, use it. If you don't, I'm gonna recommend that you get started with one. It's going to be a great investment for your business more than just doing this, but it is perfect for this. In the video you saw, I did use this heat press here, this Geonite press, 14 inch. It's a great little press. It's a good price. We do have a 12-inch version, and then if you want to step up to something a little bigger and more commercial, something that can do a little bit more, this 14 by 16 is a nice next step up from there. So it's a little bit bigger and it's a clamshell and it's got digital readouts. So that's what we're working with. The last thing you saw me use, I wanted to show you is, let me go here to my scissors and tweezers, and I actually used these right here. That's what you saw me use to pick out that material. If you don't own some of these nippers, buy some. They're really good, and I use those often. But that was the other thing that I used, and otherwise just a regular pair of tweezers. That's all you need. So you've got all the supplies you need. Remember, go to Cutter Supplies and go to that heat transfer vinyl and use the glitter one. That's the one that we're working with, and that's how we've created these designs. So thank you for watching. Remember, go to colemanandcompany.com and give us a call. Our phone number is always at the top if you have any questions on how to get these things going. Thank you.